It is August the 2nd, and a group of us are doing Helen Lake today. It's 6 kilometers one way, and it's a popular trail. There is a lot of cars in the parking lot, so that must mean it's going to be spectacular. Look at all these roots. That is pretty cool. There was a rain last night, so that makes things all fresh and sparkling. First little stream crossing. I always appreciate a trail that starts upwards at the beginning. That makes me feel good, knowing that it's downhill on the way back. I knew I didn't have to bring extra water today. I am so smart. I think I can leap over here. For those of you who have been following along in my videos, you'll know that I lost a very dear friend less than a year ago. And a few weeks ago, well, a month now or so, her husband gifted me her car. So now I have Anita's car and all the memories that go with it. I am so blessed. So I got the back seat taken out of it, and I'm sleeping in it during this trip. And it's actually working out quite nicely. I am so grateful. It is definitely the nicest car I've ever owned. It's just a beautiful sun-dappled walk this morning, and already it took me only 10 minutes to do a kilometer, or at least that's what my watch says. So it's not as steep as I thought it might be. Look at this lovely patch of arnica. Oh. Got some rocks to hop on. That works. 3 months after leaving Egypt, Israel came to Mount Sinai. This is a very significant and momentous time in their lives. Moses was familiar with this region because it was here that God had revealed himself to him in the burning bush. Okay, this is quite a theme for the day. Water crossings. I'm so glad I wore my Gore-Tex shoes. I usually don't. Just an interesting pathway. So, in the same locality, God was again to reveal himself to Moses. Pretty cool, eh? God met him on the mountain, and he had Moses tell the children of Israel, "You have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I have borne you on eagle's wings and have brought you to myself. Now therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you will be a special treasure to me above all people. For all the earth is mine, for you shall be a kingdom of priests to me and a holy nation." Getting into some new terrain, kind of. Whoa. Okay. That's spectacular. So Moses told the elders what God had said. Then all the people answered together and said, "All that the Lord has spoken, we will do." This was a swearing-in ceremony as such. God was going to lay down his government rules. Oh, this is what I'm loving now. Just spectacular. Then Moses went back up to God and told him the words of the people. Moses is quite a mountain climber. I already like the guy. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Let them wash their clothes and let them be ready for the third day. For on the third day, God will come down upon Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people." How exciting! And boundaries were to be set up, as the people were not to go up the mountain or even to touch its base, because if they did, they would surely die, and not even the animals were to go on it. This is just spectacular wildflower meadow. Oh, I am loving this. And when the trumpet would sound, the people were to come near. Then Moses came down off the mountain and had the people get ready to meet God. Then on the third day in the morning, there was thunderings and lightnings and a thick cloud on the mountain, and the sound of a trumpet was very loud, so much so that all the people that were in the camp trembled. There's so many different hues of the Indian paintbrush. So pretty. The people were now brought to the foot of the mountain. It was covered in smoke because God had descended upon it in fire, and the whole mountain quaked greatly. When the blast of the trumpet sounded long and grew louder and louder, Moses spoke, and God answered him by voice. Then the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai on the top of the mountain, and the Lord called Moses to the top of the mountain. And Moses went. You really have to be fit to work for God. Oh, that must be Helen Lake there. Sweet. That's Cirque Peak, and I think I might be attempting that. I just passed a group of old people, so if they can do it, surely I can do it. But isn't this magnificent? Let's just pause a bit. Look at Helen Lake. And I'm above some glaciers. And there's other lakes down there. Yeah, this is what I'm up against. Loose rocks. Well, I made it this far. I'm not going to go any further. It's a sketchy trail on the side of a mountain with loose rock. Nope. And then there's a pretty lake on this side of the rock ridge. Not quite as windy. And there's Helen Lake. Well, I met some people that were way younger than me that said they didn't make it up there either. So that makes me feel better. And he said he's not going to hold it against me for not scaling Cirque Peak. Ha. So, yeah, that was pretty sketchy. Anyway, this is so fabulous. It's a different view on the way back. This is like a mountain pathway freeway. Do you know what a theophany is? Well, it's precisely this, the appearing of God. And many times in the Bible, God's signs for his appearing include thunder, lightning, earthquakes, smoke, and the loud trumpet blast. Think of Revelation. The Lord was about to proclaim his holy law in person in order to remove all suspicion that Moses had anything to do with its composition. The Israelites' appearance in the presence of God required sanctification, without which none can see him.
She is a healing hiker.
Yes. And you guys are the amazing hikers.
Yeah. We work better as a team.
Sanctification is essentially a matter of the spirit, of being pure in heart. The outward acts of preparation, like washing themselves in their clothes and not having intercourse, were designed to impress the people to prepare their hearts to meet God. Holiness is to be considered seriously each time we approach God. However, the unholy will not be rejected by him if they come to him in repentance and accept the grace of Jesus. He accepts the sinner that he may make him holy and thus qualify him for fellowship with God. If the Israelites were to be the people of God, it was imperative that they appreciate the sacredness of this relationship. Therefore, we can understand why God made the giving of his law an occasion to impress the people deeply and dramatically with the conviction of its sanctity and importance. Israel was to receive the most wonderful revelation ever made by God to man. These people were used to being slaves in the midst of idolatry. Now God was working to lift them to a higher moral level by giving them a knowledge of himself. Every government has laws and rules and regulations, and that's what God was about to do, was to explain to the people about his governmental laws. And God's governmental laws are so perfect that they are in the Supreme Court of the USA. These laws may be challenged by atheists, but they have not been tossed away or died out or thrown aside or made null and void. Pretty exciting stuff coming up in future hikes. And to put things into perspective, Jesus died for these laws. I challenge you to come boldly before our God in awe of his holiness and grandeur. We can catch a glimpse of his grandeur when out in nature, and that is why I love to hike. And wasn't today a grand hike? This Helen Lake trail gets a 5-star review from me, but the Cirque Peak, no, that gets an F. The markings was not there. Sadly, just no signs. And so yeah, that was disappointing, but still an amazing day. I am very grateful to have new friends that are willing to let me tag along on their excursions. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Assalamu alaikum, shalom, peace.